Hello and welcome to day 6 of 10 Days of Darkness. I'm here at Warwick Castle today to experience their Haunted Castle event, which is the day event. They also have a night event called Castle After Dark. Unfortunately, they are not doing it today, but lucky for you, I came here a couple of nights ago to experience it. So what happened once the sun went down? Let's find out. So I'm here at Warwick Castle to find out what happens after dark. It's 2 days before I visited during the daytime event. So this is all new, first time I'm being here. Let's go and find out what's about to happen. Apparently there are 2 mazes. We've got the dungeons, and let's see what else they've got. Let's go and check it out.
You haven't seen my lord's head, have you? I said you haven't seen my lord's head, have you?
It's in the road ahead. So it looks pretty cool. They've got some places you can sit down, some little stands that you can buy some stuff, which is really nice. So I've managed to get my ticket. I got in and they give me a time ticket for the Crest, which is supposed to be their spookiest, scariest maze. My ticket for that is 8 o'clock. That looks pretty cool. Big cauldron there. And apparently they're going to blindfold you and there's strobe lighting, so that's going to be interesting. I've also got a ticket for the dungeons, so we're going to check that out. Castle dungeon. I've got a few minutes. Let's see what's going on. So that's the Crest. But we're going to start with the dungeon. I've just found out next to the dungeon is another one called Hunted. So that'll be next. I'll do that one after the dungeon. Then we'll do the Crest. And then they've got kind of a walkthrough, which is Haunted Hollow. So we'll be checking that one out as well. Right, so it's Castle Dungeon time. What I'm curious is, how does it compare to the daytime event? Have they modified it? Have they changed it? Have they made it scarier? I don't know, but my daytime counterpart will be able to tell you after I do it. Let's do it. That's right, I'm going to be doing the Castle Dungeon during the day, and then I'm going to compare the two, and I'll tell you if there are any differences, or in fact, which one is scarier. Back to you in the nighttime. Okay, so just done the dungeon. It was very good, I enjoyed it a lot. But now it's time to do Hunted. This is a free maze. It is 7:15, so it's not too bad. So as soon as I've done this one, I'll go and do the Crest. So let's go check it out and see what it's about. Okay, so just did Hunted. Interesting, it had a kind of a Purge vibe. And it's kind of like you're being hunted by the Earl of Warwick or something. What they do, they actually get you to hold onto a rope, and the leader of the group is like leading the rope, so everyone kind of like stays together. It's quite interesting, and you go through, and there's like people jumping out of you. It was tame, but I think the kids were getting scared, which was interesting. But of course, someone who's been to lots of mazes wouldn't get too scared from something like that, so that's quite good. What the hell is that? It's fine, don't worry. So now we're off to the next thing. Let's check it out.
Thank you very much.
So it's good. You got the band. It's a shame that there's not many people sitting down at the moment because it's raining a lot. But there are people listening in the corners, hiding out. So yeah, Hunted took place in the Kingmaker area, and that was quite interesting. I was quite lucky that there wasn't much of a queue, but there is now, massive queue now. So I've got a time ticket for 8 o'clock for the Crest. That gives me about 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and have a look at the Haunted Hollow. So let's go and take a look at that. Okay, so found the entrance to Haunted Hollows. It is really raining a lot at the moment. I hope my phone is going to be okay. So let's go in. Whoa, what we got here? Whoa. There's some Fridays. Must be a Friday. I don't know. It's not. It's a Sunday night. Let's go through this way. Oh my God! What is that? Skeleton, where are we going? On mine. Oh no, my feet are soaking wet now. This is not good. But this is great. I'm loving the theming. I love it. My phone might not like it, but we are gonna get that footage for you. Let's do it. Oh my goodness. Whoa! Whoa! Let's keep going. It's going to this indoor. Oh my goodness! We got spiders and cobwebs. Oh my goodness! There's people getting scared.
Well, let this man go and he jumps.
The rain is not an effect. Got a skeleton here. Thief. Okay, nice. This is the first rain maze that they've ever done. Okay. Whoa, sorry. Going through. Hi. You can scare those guys. I am going this way. Got past the. Oh, there's a ghost up there. Pumpkin. Amazingly spectacular. Whoa. Oh, spooky, spooky, spooky. Got a thing there. Oh, some gravestones. Let's go. Oh, have we done it? Have we done it? Hopefully we've survived it. Hopefully we've survived. There's some stairs. I'm going up. I have to say, I really enjoyed it. Even though it's like really raining, I loved that. If it wasn't raining, I would have taken my time and gone through that. But because of the rain, even with a super dry, I literally had to go through that as quickly as possible. And I've come out this section. I think it comes out at the area where there's the maze. But I'm not going to be doing the maze today. I'll let my daytime counterpart in a couple of days' time do the Horrible Histories maze during the day. I'm sure it's really good at night time, but not during this rain. You can see the floor is all full of water. It's turning into an obstacle course just to get through it without getting my socks wet. But oh, looks good. Is the maze over? Or is it just beginning? Oh my goodness. How am I supposed to get through this? Okay, we're going through. I like it. Did you like that?
It was scary, wasn't it?
It was good.
No, it was scary.
It was.
You said that she's
It was good.
with that fat lad.
So yeah, that's it. We've come out at the end. That's great. So now it's time to do the final maze of the night, the Crest. Let's do it. Okay, so it's time for the final maze of the night, the Crest. Apparently they're going to blindfold me, spin you around. They're going to be flashing lights. I asked the lady, if there's flashing lights in there, how will I know if I'm blindfolded? Just a simple logical question. I don't know. But I'm going to go in and we're going to find out and I'm going to report to you soon. So let's go in and do the final maze of the night. Let's go. The video that's playing in the queue line is saying that Warwick Castle has actually been taken over by a cult, which is interesting. So, is it the cult that we're going to have to go up against in the maze? Time to go in, let's do it! It seems to be the symbol of the cult. About to go in. So, did the Crest. It was really interesting. You go through into a room, there's a guy that talks to you, and then the cult leader tells you to go through, and you have to put masks on. And once you've got the mask on, I was the leader and I had to I was holding on to something and they would be dragging me through and everyone else's hands were on my shoulders. And you had to go through lots of different sounds and things going on around you until you get into another room. They take the mask off and then you're then going room from room and you're kind of meeting all the kind of abused Warwick Castle staff members, which is really interesting until you get to the final room. And they asked you to do something that wasn't in one of the mazes before. And I have to say that I was genuinely scared. So that was really good. So I've got a little bit of time. I'm gonna do, I think I didn't see a queue in the Hunted maze, so I might do that one more time. Let's go. I think I've got enough time to do Hunted one more time. So let's do that. So I just came out of Hunted. Now that was really interesting. We had loads of kids in the group and a few adults, and the kids were screaming. And every time the kids were screaming, the adults were laughing. It was great. And the second time through, amazing, really good. Lots of high energy. The kids were screaming every time they were jumping out. The adults were the monsters in there. They were really jumping out. You had guys jumping out of nowhere into the ground, taking the kid's hat and everything. It was amazing, really good, fantastic. Loved it. Second time through, it was fantastic. Loved it. So I've got enough time to do one more thing, and it has stopped raining. So I think I'm going to do the Haunted Hollow one more time. Let's go. Unfortunately, Haunted Hollow is closed because of flooding, even though it has stopped raining. Luckily, we did manage to do it a little bit earlier, but that's okay. No problems. Anyway, I'm done for the night. I'm going to be heading home, but I will be back here in 2 days' time to do the day event. So there you go. Now you're all caught up. So it's 2 days later after the After Dark event. And I've just found out that they've actually got 2 scare walkthroughs in here. One's a timed event. These are the walkthroughs that they've got. Okay, so one of the mazes that they have is called Upscares, Downscares. It's a timed ticket, free, but you need to get a timed ticket. So I've got the first showing at 10:30 in the morning. This is the same place where they do the Crest. So I'm gonna check what's the difference. Apparently this is a kids thing, but is it gonna take the same route as the Crest? I'm gonna go in soon and find out. So they also have another walkthrough called Foolish Ghouls, and this takes place in the same place as Hunted in the nighttime event. This again is a kids one, but is it going to follow the same route? I'm going to find out by going and checking it out soon. Great, so now that you know that they've got the Upscares, Downscares and the Foolish Ghouls, I managed to miss the second chance to go through the Haunted Hollows, but I am going to go through it again today in the daytime. So let's do that before we go into one of the mazes. Let's go. So something I didn't notice the first time around is you've got these buttons on the floor. They usually make funny noises. So pick this one. Spooky. Let's do these. Well, that was cool. Okay, so just had to get a photo taken. Probably try and sell me something afterwards. Let's go in to the Haunted Hollows during the day. Wow, let's go. You know, it's a really bad habit that these guys have got. Now, there was one guy dressed up in kind of camouflage gear hiding in this corner in the nighttime event, which did scare me because I really didn't see him. And because it's not raining, I can really take my time. And the fact there's people in front of me, I can't really run through it anyway. Hey Fred, how's it going? Well, what are you saying? That's mine? Oh, okay, yeah, it's yours. Fine. All right, we're going for the mine. What have we got? We can actually take a little closer look at what we've got here. We've got some scales. Oh, there's money around. That's nice. TNT. Don't leave a candle near the TNT. That is not a good idea. Oh. Hello. You're right.
Welcome to my mine.
Thank you.
Make sure you mind your head as you go through my mine.
But is it yours or is it mine?
Oh, it's definitely mine.
Oh, okay, thank you. Oh my goodness, what's happening here? Oh. It's, I think there's a serious health and safety issue there. Oh, hello. It's a little mouse or a rat? Can't quite tell. Oh, there's a bat. But is there a cat? Or anything else? But on a mat, perhaps? Oh, hello. He's got TNT. I wonder if it went off. All right, let's go into this next section. Whoa. That's nice.
High five! Yay! High five! Woo! High five! Yay! High five! Yay! High five!
Give me a high five. Spiders. Especially a lot of characters that are skeletons around. Oh wow. Acid jacuzzi. Oh, he's trying to get out.
Are you getting dressed up for Halloween? Well, of course, yes, I'm in the presence of royalty, of course. One day I'll make a statue of you, I'm sure. Are you going to be scary nights on Halloween, or have you got a different costume?
You've got a different costume.
No, that's good. I love the way you're checking with your wardrobe.
Wardrobe assistant, yeah.
What have we got going? Will you enjoy yourself today? Happy Halloween. Make sure you eat lots on trick-or-treating. If you don't wake up with a stomachache, you've missed your opportunity.
I think your favourite food is probably a Caesar salad.
A Caesar salad, I like that. You know I'm going to use that.
Okay, go for it.
That's very good.
Oh, he's toasting marshmallows. Very cool. A skelly selfie. That's very nice. Very cool. Oh, look at that. Something tells me the gargoyle's probably not feeling very well. Okay. Oh, it's a scarecrow, but which face it? Oh,
Hello. Welcome. I'll check the sheep dog.
Yeah.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. What are your names?
It's nice taking my time going through it. You know, it's really cool. Look at these guys. So I think the only thing that you're really missing is the kind of lighting effects because of the, obviously it's not dark. And ghosts. This will probably help you to kind of make out some of the darker scenes when I was filming. Oh, Calder Cross, oh good. Okay, so we got the graveyard section. Leaning. Oh, that's great. Body lunar swallow. The body lunar swallows. And colours. This, get the heck out of me. Got a haunted castle. That could be a thumbnail. Let's do that. It's good. Love it. What does that say? I'd turn back if I were you. Okay. Poorly tummy. Oh well. Still alive. Still alive. Still alive. Oh, that brings back some bad memories from Chessington, which I did yesterday. Alright, so that was, we're back at this section. It's pretty good. It's nice going through here without it being pouring rain or the floor being absolutely drenched with puddles and mud and everything. So that's quite nice, but I remember turning this corner, there are a few more skeletons that we can take a look at. Let's have a look. Oh, what the hell? Is that toilet paper on his head? He must have got absolutely faced. Olivia Underground. It's really cool. Keep out. What does that mean? Secret symbols. Is that part of the cult? Sorry, it's a different thing. Bonnie Voyage. Oh, it must be a witch because of the broomstick. Victoria von Steen. Trebuchet Winder. Dizzy no more. Here lies mean old Mr. Jones. No, he's just a bag of bones. All right. Oh, final thing. What's this? Well, that's that. That was pretty good. Really like that. So the exit of this is where they've got the Horrible Histories maze. I was tempted to do that in the dark, but because of the rain and everything, I decided not to. But we'll come back to that a little bit later. I think it's time to go and see the first maze. Well, that's just me, our little friends here. How are you doing? This guy's lost his head. All right. Let's go and do, what is it? Up screams, down screams? Let's have a look. Up scares, down scares. Let's go and do that. Dead End Circus. That's interesting. I wonder if they've got a circus show.
Beetle juice. Yeah, Beetle Joel, he's not juice.
Oh, Beetle Joel, I think.
Good morning,
Good morning. Ringmaster must be, it's like the circus. Interesting.
Hello, how are we?
Morning.
Hi! Hello! Hi! Hi!
Thank you. Bye. So it looks like it's a queue already. Hello.
Hello!
Morning.
Lovely to meet you!
You too. There's a queue already. It's time to queue up. Get into the upstairs, downstairs. Okay, so while I'm waiting for upstairs, downstairs, the stage over there has got some actors.
I am, of course, your dead ringmaster. Here we have our strongman, Pebble, Joe the Pebble Wixon, and Earth One, and World Cup later. Yes, coming to the last one. This is Hush, our my master.
There you go, that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Let's take a quick look around. Of course, there's all lights up there during the night time. Anyway, so remember the nighttime version. This is a story about a cult that's taken over. This one, let's find out. So it's the same queue line as the Crest, but it doesn't have all the cult clippings over here. The television over there is off, so it doesn't have the video playing about the cult stuff. So that's interesting. This seems to be a kind of a chapel area. I didn't look too closely into it. There's a nice painting on the wall there. Painting? Kind of a carving thing. Now what's interesting is that we actually went through that door over there, but the queue seems to be going around over there, behind that kind of celebration thing. So maybe it's a slightly different path. Interesting. Let's see where it goes. So this painting is called The Battle of the Amazons. The question is, where's Wonder Woman? Now, if a monster ever says that they want your internal organs, just say, don't worry, you can have this one. That's an external organ.
Lady Bumbly Pumps is my name, and throwing tremendous parties is my game. However, my latest party went rather wrong after my chef baked these incredible scones. My poor guests have been going bananas, but this is where you come in. My butler, Butter is his name, thinks if he has the recipe, he can find the antidote to stop my guests going quite bonkers. Collect the recipe, give it to him, and just mind out for those aristocratic antics. Good luck! Go on, exit through the door now. You haven't got all day.
This room. Thank you. Picture perfect. So we actually walked up a flight of stairs, or flight of stairs, to come through this way. So it looks like it is a different route.
Ah, bonjour, bonjour. I will be with you in a moment, yes.
Bonjour, Sacre-Bleu.
Ah, bonjour, bonjour, everyone. Right. Now, I'm not sure if you've heard, but Lady Bumblypup's guests have all gone potty after my pastry. Such a disgrace. Who am I? I am Chef Gourmandise, and I have the recipe you desire, yes? Let's see. Ooh. Belle party tart? No? No? Ooh, soup de canard? No? 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 Ah. What is this? What is this? Ah! Wait! My scum recipe! Yes. Here, take this. Oh, don't do it like your life depends on it, yes? Because it may well. Okay, thank you. Now, all of you. Don't let the nobles get it! You can't let them get it. No. You must all work together for me, yes. Right. Off with you, this way! You must creep quietly past the colonel in the next room. He is sleeping, so you must be very quiet. Oh, yes. Scary.
Merci beaucoup.
Très bien. Au revoir.
I wonder if this is an area that we did come to in the nighttime thing.
So they can use the coloured lights.
No, I don't remember it.
Carry on.
Oh.
What?
wake the sleeping colonel, did you? No good. Could you close that door for me? Don't want to wake him even further. Well, there's a problem, you see. Lady Bumblebee, her baby, he's old enough to eat a bit of a scone, so I thought I'd feed him some during the party. Do you think that was a good idea, boys and girls? No? Shall we have a look at the baby?
Where? Baby wants more scony scone.
Oh, I'm in big trouble. If Lady Bumblebee finds out, she'll be so angry at me, I'll lose my job. The recipe! Who has the recipe? No one has the recipe?
Oh, did you?
Well, whoever has it, make sure you get to Butler Butter as fast as possible so that he can make the antidote and stop all this nonsense. Go now before it's too late, quickly!
What's the recipe?
Oh, we're so beautiful, aren't we, Lady Spangle? Yes, we are, Lady Spangle. Don't let anyone tell you different.
Oh, hello! Don't be shy, come into my boudoir.
Yes, very nice, very nice. I heard that some ne'er-do-wells were stepping their grubby little feet around my castle. Well, boys and girls, have I got some news for you. The scone has made me see the light. Old-fashioned styles like this are out forever. Gone are notions of practicality and taste, I can tell you that. From now on, everybody shall be wearing some of these! Yes, well done! Oh, the glitter! The glamour! Finally, I can live up to my name of Lady Spangle! Well, some of you look fabulously glittery, but others... My goodness, where are your sparkly pants? You haven't got... And you sir at the back, wouldn't you look better? Dressed head to toe in lime green with a little orange hat. No! Oh, I can't bear it, please! Oh, I'm going positively hysterical. You're all such beastly bores, and I cannot bear to look at you any longer. Go, get out of my boudoir! Please come back when you come to
Which way? This way?
Oh, thank goodness you're here. Oh, the sky just makes me want to shimmy. It makes me want to shake. I must just dance. Woo. Woo. Oh, who's got that blooming recipe? Who's got it? Who's got it? Oh, well, don't show me even if you do have it, because I need to stop dancing. I'm exhausted. Has anybody got any dance moves they want to show me? Come on, step forward. If not, I'll show you some moves. Come on, copy me. Come and fetch. There. Lovely. You're doing better than me. I'll stop this monstrosity. Out there. Down the stairs. Oh, go. Quick. Oh. 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 Oh.
Oh, you're going back down some stairs now.
And you will have these two dragons to look after you while we go along the way, okay? Come along. And don't mind all the redecorations. We had a giant party last night, not even a statue of the party. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. Right, this way. Butter! Oh! Butter? Strange. Where is he? That's not butter, that's a lady. Right, if you'll wait here, I'll go look for him, okay? Be right back. Butter!
You have
No, don't throw it in the fire. No. You're not throwing it in there. No. Ooh, my back. No.
Bye-bye! We did it, everybody! Congratulations! And the butter is no more, and there's no more weird shorts, weird giant babies, and dancing, all the dreadful dancing. Really, we must leave before he comes back. The rest hasn't quite burnt down yet. Oh, have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much for your help.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Dragon.
Bye.
Have a good day. Thank you so much for coming.
So that is actually the first room you see when you take off the blindfold in the Crest. So that's pretty cool. Where have we come to? Wow, look at this. Wow, pretty cool. All right. Oh, I've got to have a look at the photo. See you later. The guy giving the tour is actually one of the actors, acting as one of the cult guys in the Crest.
And unfortunately, the family being school. Children's home.
Alright, it's quite interesting. I'm going to slowly make my way towards the next scare attraction, which of course is the Foolish Ghouls, I think it's called. Oh wow, look at this. You need a really lavish dining room like this, and then just order a McDonald's or something. It's called a 4-post bed because they weren't allowed to get more than 4 males letters during the day. That's a joke. Don't listen to that. Oh, it's King Henry VIII. All right, let's go to the base. So Porridge Pot looks like a cauldron, but this is actually where the queue was when we did the Crest a couple of nights ago, and we went in through this door. So that's where it begins. I've just come back full circle. I'm back in the room I started in. You can tell because that's the actor. I'm lost. How do I get out? Let's go through this way. I'll try and find a way out. Okay, found the exit. No worries. Okay, so they're still doing the show over there. So I just came out of this door here. Excellent, and that was over there. So we're going over this way now. Let's do it. So I've just double checked I can film this one as long as I don't use any lights, and I've turned off the phone part, so we're in aeroplane mode. So we're going back into the Kingmaker area. Oh, you can see the sign spins around. So let's check out the Foolish Ghouls. Foolish Ghouls. Let's see what it's like. Okay, so this is the same way as the Hunted. this way. See, there's like a lot of hanging things. A lot of these are hanging down during the hunted. They've got like bags, like body bags, hanging from the ceiling as well. See this, Joe?
Hello there, nice to meet you. How are we doing today? Good. Right then, just to let you know, everyone down here's died. We're all dead, you see. We're all ghosties. But I'm the only person who knows we're a ghost who died. I mean, I died because I got kicked in the face by my own horse back there. And some of them died for many silly ways, but they don't know they're dead. So when you go through, make sure you tell them they're a ghost. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah.
Right, off you go then, off you pop. Have you? Oh, that's very good of you.
So the ghosts don't know they're ghosts. I'm gonna have to tell them again.
I'm Chief Alchemist of the Earl of Warwick. You're a witch. Well, in 1471, witches were fine with us. They didn't start burning. 200 years. I'm not scary. It's not scary. Well, it's not supposed to be scary. It's a bit of history. Right. I am Chief Alchemist of the Earl of Warwick. Stay if you want to hear. Carry on if you don't. Here I mix potions. I make poultices. And I make other things to kill our enemies. Who are our enemies, sir? 1471. War of the Roses. The Yorkists. This is a Lancastrian stronghold. So,
The Lannisters.
I take base products. I mix them with other products. I add some of my own products. And I make pure gold. Sometimes though it does turn out to be green, so I have to add a bit of gold paint, but it's nothing the old man upstairs. But we are at war, so we've been buying new weapons. Hand cannons, he says to me. I says to him, well, where's the gunpowder? He says, well, you can make it. Sir, how do we make gunpowder? You must know.
Sulfur,
Oh,
carbon, which is coal.
Almost. You can start tomorrow. Saltpeter, sulphur, charcoal. Put them in a pestle and mortar. Mix them to a fine paste. Send them to the man upstairs, and he'll thank you for this. Most likely with a turkey or a Swede. Do you like your vegetables, sir? No. Send him to the tower. Send him to the tower. Recently, I've been getting my candle to look at my gunpowder mix. Ah, some of you are ahead of me. And what do you think happens when I get my candle too close to my gunpowder? Boom! And I wake up here again, every day. Making the same poultices, mixing the same potions, making more gunpowder. I make potions to heal the sick, sir. And they must work. I'd never have a repeat customer. And what? Ghost? How ridiculous. Look, you can touch me. See? No, maybe later. I'm not a ghost. Are you Yorkist spies? Carry on through and see Betty, our washerwoman. I'm not a ghost. Oh!
So it was charcoal, sulfur, and
Saltpeter, sulphur, charcoal, sir.
Oh, lovely. Thank you very much.
Don't try it at home.
I'll try not to.
Hello, sir.
Remember, a Lannister always pays his debts.
Well, I'm Betty, I'm the washerwoman here at the castle, and I need you all to tell the nobleman next door to stop eating what he's eating, because it goes in one way, out the other, and it smelled like he died in his own clothes. I know, I had to wash all his clothes here in urine just to mask the smell. Well, if anything drip drops on your head as you walk by, it's just the urine I found on the street outside. Could be his. You never know.
It probably is.
Well, you've got two options. You can stay here and do the laundry with Margaret and I, or you can follow the putrid smell to the nobleman. I guess she went for the second one. Margaret's good at staring competitions, you know. She's never lost one.
Damn it, she beat me.
My name's Betty. I was Margaret was in our first coach.
These are the kind of cages that you've got during the hunted. They really try and shake the cages and stuff.
Mind the bag.
And they had like decapitated heads on this table.
Don't disrespect your noble man. Why are you not on the battlefield? If you're down here, you are my servant. Go give me some meat and food immediately.
No, I don't think so.
Find a special task for you then. Wait there. You'll clean that later. Off you go, quickly. Plenty more feces here. Quickly now.
When I was doing a PhD, I had to do a thesis.
I need it already.
Hopefully it was a bit better than that. Oh, we're done. We're in the shop. So we survived. So that was the Foolish Schools. That's really good. All right, let's go to our next thing. I have no idea what it's going to be. Let's go check it out. I think there's some witches outside. I want to go and have a look and see what time they're on. Let's do that.
Guys, are we all ready to read the spell? To summon him? Are you ready? Ghosts and ghouls, hear us quake. Summon to us the man of hate. With spiders, cakes, and human hair too. Bring us cake, wizard. Bring him here too. Mildew, hold your frogs. I've got something. What's happening over there? Take the witchy fingers. Look! Look what I've got. What is it?
It's monstrous.
We've
done something wrong.
We have, I know what it is.
Too much cake.
And not enough human. Oh my goodness. We have
You cheated!
Oh, that's rude.
Eat it before it eats you.
Before we started, your grown-ups told me and Thistle that they've got lots of chocolate.
Lots and lots of chocolate. Yeah.
So, if you wave your fingers at them and ask them over and 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 over again.
And super loud as well.
Super loud?
Yeah.
Like chocolate.
So if you go and ask them for chocolate over again, it'll be yeah. Go on then, go and try.
Well, that's the witch's den. I wonder what would happen if I went up to an adult and asked them for some chocolate. Probably get a black eye. Anyway, so now we're going to go and check out the horrible Histories maze, which I was avoiding during the rain a couple of nights ago. But now we're going to give it a go. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm entering the Horrible Histories maze. You get a little thing like this, and inside I need to collect 2, 4, 6, 7 stamps from different time periods. So a little bit like that pirate thing I did in Chattington. So that's quite fun. Get all the stamps and fix time. So let's go and explore and see if we can find them. Let's go. So this must be all the different time periods. So, Ye Old Castle, is that one of them? I'm not sure. So that looks busy, so let's go do this one. Vicious Vikings. Viking area, there must be something here. So with Vikings, let's have a look. Well, Vicious Vikings is the first one there. There must be something. Yep, that is a stamp. Let's get stamped. Okay, so Vicious Vikings. Let's put this in here. Okay. Just got my stamp. Okay, let's take a look at what the stamp is. Okay, fantastic. Let's go for the next one. Alright, let's give this one a go.
That's only depends what you put in. You waiting as well, are you?
Got it.
We could always
Alright, second one done. Okay, so he's late. Wait a second. Thank you very much. Okay, so I've got that one. Let's move on to the next one.
I think it goes round.
I see a rat! I found a rat!
Got the stamp.
Oh, yeah! That's mine,
Right. Nice. Oh, sorry. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 2 more to go. Oh, no, that is not right. Victorians. So that's this one. Let's get that. No. I'm supposed to get this one. It's full. Put that in there. Got it. The very last one to get is Stormin Normans. It's a way to get into there. Sorry.
Nothing up there.
Okay, found the fortress. The Norman fortress. That's the thing. So that's a good overview of the entire maze. Okay, Stormy Normans, which is that one. And that's it. Congratulations, I have got all 7 of them and I have fixed time. But looking at the actual time, I think I've got about 20 minutes before there's a show to do with eagles or birds of prey or something. So let's go. Check that out.
So not only is it going everywhere, in under your armour, onto your skin, it's also removing quite a lot of skin. Also allowing something extra to get in there. It's almost like this.
Interesting. I think that's a talk about how the gateway actually opens and closes. It's quite interesting. Interesting. So they have like tours that you can do from here. Okay, it's amazing. I'll have to have a look at that and check it out. He's still looking for his head. So there's lots of activities you can actually do here. There's archery, and over here they've got sword, learning how to use the sword.
Yeah. Right, so you guys go stand behind, and on the count of 3, can I have some scary faces first? Scary face. And on the count of 3, I want you to do what we've just done. You ready? Scary faces at the ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Stab him, give it a wiggle. Stab him, give it a wiggle. Brilliant. Now chop both his arms off. Chop both of his arms off. Chop his legs off.
Well, there you go. It's a cut of the rest. And you might even get it at cut price. Who knows? So over there you got the trebuchet, which is a massive catapult. And they do demonstrations of how that works as well. But over there is where we're going. The Falconer's Quest. So obviously they're going to show you about falcons and birds of prey and stuff. So let's go and check out the show.
Many of my countrymen believe barn owls bring good fortune, and Hobby wanted to bring this bird to the castle, as he believed it would bring him luck on his quest.
Put that down there. There you go.
White-tailed silver eagle. Hobby had seen nothing like it before. He was so excited to see it in full flight, with its massive, long, broad wings. This huge, sturdy bird was a Steller's eagle. Those that cast their eyes on this magnificent bird are transfixed by its presence and power. With its distinctive eyes and pointed tufts of feather upon its head, they were the Harris Hawks. Giants of the air live in high mountains, open grasslands, and along coastlines. They are not natural hunters. They like to scavenge for food. Claws are short, unlike an eagle, and they use them well to hold down any scavenged carcasses they feast upon. Amazed to learn that the Andean corn wingspan of 10 feet. Often swooping low and grabbing the fish with its sharp talons. Both Hobby and I were rewarded.
Spectacular stuff. Right, let's move on to the next thing. The dead centre stage is really rocking at the moment. You can see the crowd has gathered. It's nice and sunny. So that's really good. Right, the one thing I want to do is something called the Time Tower, which is just over there. So let's go check that out. Looks like we have to go up the stairs.
I laid the foundations of Warwick Castle over 1,000 years ago, in the year 914. There was a great battle between us, the Anglo-Saxons in the south, and in the north, the Vikings. fortresses and a key settlement at Warwick. Warwick provided protection for my people. By 927, the Anglo-Saxons had conquered and united the surrounding lands to form England. 1 century later, a great threat approached this new kingdom.
Yes, a great threat indeed. In 1066, I, William, Duke of Normandy, travelled to England. I destroyed the Anglo-Saxons at the Battle of Hastings and claimed my rightful title, King of England. Whilst crushing the resistance in the north, I commanded that a mountain-veiling castle be built at Warwick, in case I needed to retreat. Of course, I did not.
The next 200 years saw the castle undergo huge transformations. It was at the heart of several wars, and many knights, like me, passed through its gates. Danger approaches. England is in civil war. The castle's under attack. Look sharp. Head for the battlements. Go up the stairs behind you. Hurry!
The last 200 years saw the transformation of the castle into the imposing stronghold you see before you. During the Wars of the Roses, Warwick was a seat of power for one reason. Me, I, Richard Neville, Earl of Warwick, also known as the Kingmaker, controlled the succession of the crown. After my time, at the end of the war, the Tudors left Warwick to ruin. The towers collapsed and the walls crumbled. Alas, nothing lasts forever.
As a reward, though some call it a bribe. Building brought to life once more. Fulk spent the equivalent of £8 million rebuilding the castle. 30 years later, a civil war raged once more. Warwick became a prime target for the king, but I swore no royalist would step foot inside the castle ever again.
Battle broke out. Watch out! Eventually, support was found from the south. Victory was ours.
Post-Civil War England was a very different place. The next generation of Grevilles, including myself, Francis Greville, converted the castle into a grand, stately home. Doesn't it look splendid? By mid-Victorian times, the castle had become renowned for its weekend parties, and was even visited by Queen Victoria herself.
One is not amused.
However, disaster struck in 1871. Fire tore through the apartments in the east wing of the castle. Luckily, most of the collection inside was saved. The apartments were eventually rebuilt, and the castle was restored to its former glory.
Please exit through the far door. There you can find more of the colourful characters who owned
that was
Warwick
pretty
Castle
cool.
over the
Figures who once held the key to the door of Warwick Castle. They may look handsome specimens up here, but don't be fooled. Some of these characters are pretty nasty in their hunt for power. The lady down here on my left is the Anglo-Saxon princess and lady of the Mercians, Ethelfleda. She was an iconic female warrior, and without her, we probably wouldn't be here today. Above her is William the Conqueror. He built the first castle at Warwick when he ruled England. He was ruthless and deeply unlikable. Then there is Thomas Beecham, the 11th Earl of Warwick. He ordered the construction of the large medieval towers in the 1340s. He earned a reputation for fighting like a lion and was nicknamed the Devil of Warwick by the French. Right, let's see who's next. Robert. Robert!
Oh, hello, cousin. Move over, you oaf.
Are you going to help me, or do I have to do everything around here?
The next owner was Thomas Beecham's son, also called Thomas, the 12th Earl of Warwick. He oversaw the completion of the medieval towers, although he didn't enjoy his father's military success. And that pale-looking man next to him, the one with the hunched back, is Richard III. He owned the castle after his brother George and built the Bear and Clarence Towers.
Talking of towers, Richard was a very cunning man. He locked his two nephews in the Tower of London so he could take the throne, and they were never seen again.
Unbelievable.
Over there is John Dudley. He was a Tudor. After inheriting the castle, he left it to rot in order to pursue his own hunt for power.
How dare he?
Well, that's funny. That portrait seems to be empty. How peculiar.
That's because it's supposed to be you. You were the next owner of the castle after it was given to you by King James I. Go on.
Oh, yes.
I inherited the castle from Fulk, and from then on the owners were all Grevels, right up until 1978. There's the other Robert Greville. He rebuilt the castle after the Civil War. Then there's Francis Greville. He was a great patron of the arts and commissioned a famous artist, Canaletto, to create 5 paintings and 3 drawings of the castle.
And at the end there is George Greville, who owned the castle in the Victorian times. In the 1890s, the Countess of Warwick kept a zoo on the island, including a baby elephant. After George's ownership, the mill was converted to an electricity generating plant. Can someone please explain to me what this electricity is?
Well, don't look at me. The Grevilles sold the castle in 1978, and after extensive restorations, it was open to the public.
I wonder who the next owner will be. Now, don't be getting any grand ideas. This castle has seen enough battles and sieges. Hey! Give that back! Oh, for goodness sake.
Please exit downstairs on the left.
That's cool. Had a very kind of Harry Potter vibe to it. Anyway, let's go. So at 1:30 is the ultimate castle tour. I think I'll probably do that. I'm not going to film it though. I'm just going to go and enjoy it for myself. But looking at the Time Tower, you probably got a gist of the history of Warwick Castle. So I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll give you a few highlights. But the main thing will be doing the castle dungeon during the daytime and letting you know, are there any differences with the nighttime one? Will the ghost appear? Because I did notice the ghost didn't appear on the nighttime show. So let's see.
One that removed my lord's head.
So he's saying that there's a quest to find the head of that guy. And the first people he needs to talk to are the witches. So I'm at the witches area. Hello. Hi. Just a quick question. They said that there's a clue to find the head.
It is. You see that side over there?
Yes.
On the side. Attached to the side.
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you very much. What's this? Now go to the entrance of the mound to find out more. Interesting. So I'm looking for a mound. I had no idea what that was. I actually had to look it up. And it looks like it's that. Just need to go to the entrance of that. Let's try it. So we are looking for his head. I guess that makes us head hunters. Now go to the base of Guy's Tower to find out more. Okay, that's great. Where's Guy's Tower? Okay, I think it's that one. So these kind of games are kind of designed for kids, but I'm beating them. Can you find the area where the birds are quite high in the sky? That's how we have to go all the way back to where the bird's place was. I go to the peacock garden to find the hedge. I'm gonna have to do this quick. So I need to go and do my tour. But I've noticed there's a kid ahead of me that's beating me at this game. This cannot be permitted. How dare you? No, well done. The kid's doing well. Okay, so we need to go to the peacock garden, which I think is down here. To be honest, I'm just following the kid now. We'd see you to some stage 4:30. So I managed to complete it. That's great. Okay, so now try and get to my tour in time. I've literally got about 3 minutes.
William of Normandy decided to invade Saxon England and set himself up as king of this land. And if you do invade a foreign country and expect the local locals to do what you want them to do rather than what they actually want to do for themselves, it's a very, very good idea to have fortifications all over the country. So in 1068, he ordered the building of Motte and Bailey Castle here in Warwick. He built numerous all over the land, but let's talk about the one at Warwick. Mound and Bailey or Motte and Bailey castles are the easiest castles to build. They're basically like IKEA flat pack of medieval architecture. If you have enough men, you can do it in about 3 months. And all you do is you find your strategically brilliant piece of land and you dig a very large ditch the whole way around it. And with all that earth that you've taken out, you simply pile it up into a mound. That is a heap of 1068 ditch dirt. On this side of the ditch, you build a large wall called a bailey, and then you have accommodation for the Lord and Master here, and also everything you need within the castle compound. Place for the knights, for the archers, the blacksmith, the cooks, the washer people, everything. This is our world, that is your world, may the twain never mix. Why on earth would you pick Warwick? Numerous reasons. Good enough for Ethelfleda, good enough for William. Warwick is wonderfully plonk in the middle of England. If you look after Warwick, you can look after the north, the south, the east and the west very easily from here. Over there you've got, I didn't actually mean to do that, over there you've got the River Avon, which is a good supply of fresh-ish water, and also means getting everything you need to and from the castle. Everything from food and linens, right through to, at the end of the day, big burly knights of bows and arrows. Everything goes back to big burly knights of bows and arrows. Also, we're built on a weir. Warwick actually means weir town, Warwick. With a weir, you can build a mill. With a mill, you can grind corn and feed the 150, 200 people who live within the castle compound. Totally self-sufficient. And also, William very sensibly built a bridge. And he might only charge the locals a penny or a groat to cross that bridge, but if they don't, it's a day's walk to Stratford-on-Avon to get to their farmland on the other side. So no work whatsoever on the part of the castle, and some revenue is coming in each and every day. Very, very clever. On that side, the old Fosse Way, the old Roman road, not much in those days it was a good sturdy road linking the north to the south to the north. We know that William had maybe 150, maybe even 200 of these Mound and Bailey or Motte and Bailey castles all over the land. And if you have that many, you can't be in all of them at the same time. So instead, he would give them to noble Norman lords to look after. And in the case of Warwick, he gave it to a man called Beaumont, or to be more exactly, the Beaumont. Very Norman. In fact, so Norman it irritated Saxon sensibilities. Rather like his head waiter to get the Champs-Elysees, you know, madame, you just want to slap him. Same difference in those days. So instead, he was made our first Earl Warwick. And in our 954 years of history, we have had 4 first Earls. Someone is given the title, passes through generations, something happens, goes back to the king, and is given to somebody else. It means that while at the moment we have a 9th Earl, who has nothing to do with the castle at all, he's actually our 36th Earl, if you add them all together. It also means when you're in the house, you'll see a picture of a 2nd Earl, dressed more old-fashionedly than a 1st Earl, but by the end of this tour, he said optimistically, all of this will make sense. Other Mount and Bailey castles were useful for a certain length of time and nothing more. We were absolutely well worth keeping, rather like Windsor Castle. So very quickly, the wood changed to stone. The building up there became something like that is later, but imagine that. The walls practically, but maybe not so perfectly symmetrical. The towers, yes, but not so high. The Barbican, yes, but not so brilliant. And the house over there, yes, but not a stately home. So basically what you see now, just not quite so fantastic. And because of that, well, you've heard quite a lot of this first time around, but I'm doing it with more pizzazz this time. Bigger crowd, you see. Because of that, people have said, have we ever been successfully breached? And unbelievably, in 954 years, only once. And that was in the year 1264, during the Second Barons' Revolt. At that time, the King of England, Henry III, was demanding both money and men from his noble lords to fight in wars in France that they thought were foolish. Sending money to a battle or a cause in a foreign country that you don't agree with is very annoying. But a knight is years of training, years of investment, £100,000 for a suit of armour, £10,000 per sword. They're going out to France, dying, or funnily enough, worse still, being taken prisoner and ransomed back to you at prices like £10 million or £15 million. This is not good, particularly if you do not believe in the cause in the first place. At that time, not surprisingly, 99.9% of the noble lords rose up against their king. And at that point, our Earl made some very, very strange decisions. Number 1, he supported the king when none of his contemporaries did. Stupid. Number 2, he seemed to forget the man who hated the king more than anyone else in the entire realm. Simon de Montfort was his next door neighbour at Kenilworth Castle, literally a trebuchet chucked from here. Even more stupid. But with that other stupidest thing he did was when Simon de Montfort and his burly knights came to attack the castle, the Earl and Countess ran to the top of a hill, hid under a kitchen table and left the front door open. Simon and his men simply walked straight in and took over the castle. Very stupid. Not surprisingly, the Earl and Countess were discovered very, very quickly, taken prisoner by Simon, who said that is it, end of the Earls of Warwick, and that should in theory be the end of my story. This is now a very attractive multi-storey car park, and everyone goes to Kenilworth Castle instead. But no, we are lucky. Simon used this castle as a quarry for the next 2 years. You need a window for Kenilworth, take from Warwick. You need a door, take from Warwick. You need a brick, take from Warwick. So we fell into a degree of dilapidation, but within 2 years the nephew of our table-hiding Earl was granted the title of Earl of Warwick again, and his family name was Beauchamp. And they lived here for about 150 years, bringing with them something of mind-blowing importance, and that's cash. Huge amounts of cash. To tell you both how they got it and how they spent it, I'm going to walk us to the far side of the Barbican over there, and I will tell you part 2 of my story, hopefully with less background noise.
I ran over from the Peacock Garden just in time.
Before I tell you how the Beauchamp family, the family name was Beauchamp, got their money, let me tell you how they spent it. Learning the mistake of the table-hiding Earl, the Earl's most important thing to have was a very strong and secure gatehouse or barbican. For many, many years, this was literally the only way in or out of the castle. You see, you can't attack by the river because I can see you coming upstream and I'm ready and I'm waiting. And with the weir, I know where you're going to park. You can't come cross-country because with... Can people actually hear me, or is this agonising? It's coping. Are you coping just about? Yeah. Those who can't hear, come nearer to the front. Those who can, go back. You can't come cross-country from up there because I can see you from the top of the mound. I'm ready, I'm waiting. And you can't come from that side because the town of Warwick used to come right to the very edge of our ditch. I'm ready, I'm waiting, you'll do. You had to skirt everything and eventually come through this entryway here. The first thing you've got to remember, in medieval times, all little boys, by law, had to learn to use a bow and arrow after church on a Sunday and practice for 2 or 3 hours. So by the time they're in double figures, they are very, very good archers. Your average archer can do 20 arrows a minute. And I've got 200 men up there, along there, up there, along there, and up there, shooting arrows down at you. Because what I haven't said is that this is a mirror of itself. We've got to imagine we are on the other side of the drawbridge. What we see here, we're actually seeing over there. So all those arches, those arrows are coming down 200 times 20 a minute. The background sound to my story is, got to remember that. First thing you've got to do is you're going to come to our ditch. The drawbridge naturally is up, there is the ditch, how are you going to cross it? Our ditch is a ditch, not a moat, because moats have water in them. Our ditch, if we hadn't had water in it, it would have poured away, we're on a hill. Our ditch, up until comparatively recently, has always been filled with, this family had to hear it earlier, the human waste matter of the entire town of Warwick. The old expression, you don't have a pot to, well they did and they hurled the contents out of the window. It was basic, I'm sorry I'm going to say it, a steaming reservoir of poo. There, I've said it. Certainly you're not going to want to wade through it, walk through it, swim through it. Somehow you have to get the drawbridge down. Miracle number one, you get the drawbridge down. It comes down, big surprise. Our drawbridge was always the width of the entire flat front of this building. So you imagine the door behind it will be equally large, or at least pretty big. It's not, it's about a third of the potential size. So automatically, as all of you surge across the drawbridge, a tube of toothpaste situation is being created. Too many people trying to get through a narrow hole. It's like you have at a sporting event when these horrible disasters happen. But this is wonderful. I want you to be falling sideways into the you-know-what, squeezing through, falling over each other. Everything is designed to keep you out of my castle. The first thing that's really going to stop you in your tracks is this, the portcullis. You can see the bottom of one here and further down. Portcullises are made of thick, heavy wood covered in metal. They are incredibly hard to winch up, even from my side, with the mechanism. You guys, on the other hand, have to get it up physically, hold it up, and keep it up. Very hard work. Gravity is not on your side. Those spikes there, aim will go into holes in the ground, but if they go into you, all well and good. I don't want you in my castle. If you did manage, miracle number two, to get that up, hold it up, keep it up, you can surge forward about this distance. This individual here is a very large wooden door, very firmly locked shut with metal bolts across it. There is no way you're going to go any further. Your men have seen you surge forward about 5 feet and presume all is well. They push in behind you. You cannot go further forward because of the door. You cannot go back because of your men, many of whom are now dead, by the way. And above you in the ceiling are murder holes. Big holes in the ceiling. If you watch a Hollywood movie, boiling oil, or in the case of Shrek 2, cappuccino is poured down upon you. Both of these, particularly the latter, very expensive. But I am going to pour something down upon your heads. I'm going to pour down something that I have large quantities of close to hand. Yes, I'm going to cover you in excrement. You've got to realise the liquid matter will get into your eyes, your ears, onto your clothes, into your armour, onto your skin, and it ain't fresh. It's ditchweed. It's very, very unpleasant, rank and disgusting. The more solid matter, see, with a suit of armour, you can do anything in a suit of armour. Literally, it's made to measure. It moves as we do. Not if it has gunk in every single place where you want it to move. It's weighing on your head, it's weighing on your shoulders, it's on the hilt of your sword. You are covered. Psychologically, it's damaging because I could do with mud and water, but I think so little of you, I'm using human excrement. How more demeaning could one get? Also, because I really don't want you in my castle, I have heated this up. It is not boiling soup, it is boiling poop, and you are covered in the stuff. It is in under everything. The next thing I'm going to pour down is sand. Sand in its natural state is gritty and unpleasant. That's exactly the look we want, madam. When it's got to a point that it's white hot, not only is it gritty unpleasant, it's also removing layers of skin. It'll be in between everything. As you move, you're basically exfoliating. It's like L'Oreal, but not quite so nice, and you're covered in the stuff. The next miracle, the doors pop open because you still haven't taken the hint, and you surge forward. This time you can surge forward by about 30 feet. Not unique, but rare. Another portcullis, so you can't go any further forward. You think you'll be in the courtyard by now, you're not. You can't go forward, you can't go back because your men are pushing against you. And you're now in a charmingly named area called the Killing Zone. If you walk into that area, you'll see there's places for archers. There. Up here, the window's there, the balconette there, the window there, and various slots in the wall. Everywhere you stand in there, I can get you with an arrow. You're also having more you-know-what poured down upon you. You are absolutely trapped. I'm shooting fish in a barrel. And even if you still hadn't taken it, it was so determined I came to Warwick Castle and got pooed on fridge magnet, it's the only thing you've ever wanted, you would still then have to get another portcullis up, get through some more beholders, another door, and hopefully not get assassinated by the people already waiting for you here. Okay, that's how they spent the money. Let me tell you how they got it. The Beecham family lived through a period called the 100 Years' War, which actually lasted 116 years. And because of other land they had and other property, they had a huge amount of money from rents and land taxes. So they had enough money to have their own private armies. And they would send these armies out to the killing fields of France, partly to kill and maim, because that's what soldiers do, but more importantly, to kidnap French nobles, bring them back here, and put them into the dungeon, or to be more exact, Caesar's donjon, the tower. There is no evidence of beating, butchering, and flogging. Chivalrically, that is unacceptable. We have tower suites. You can stay in that tower to this day, and you'd be treated the same now as if you were my prisoner. Hot and cold running servants, clean bed linen, food. You can walk to the grounds. You can't leave, but you can enjoy yourselves happily. You are my honoured guest, but you're my prisoner. My honoured guests, in fact, are in that tower over there that has smaller rooms in it, and they are treated exactly the same. Chivalrically, on the battlefield, I hate you. Off the battlefield, we're equals. It's possible that the son of one of my prisoners, say the Comte d'Artois, is married to the daughter of my best friend in that tower. I also want to treat you well, because if perhaps I get kidnapped, I want you to treat me well in return. Chivalrically, it's just the way of the world. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. And finally, having got the money, you then have to put them back on a boat all the way to France, and that journey could take 2-3 months through rough crossings. It's chivalrically unacceptable to say thanks for the cash, sorry he's dead, here's teeth in a jiffy bag. It does not go down well. That is why they were put into a donjon or a tower and treated as honoured guests. The Beauchamp family lived here for about 150 years, bringing in huge amounts of money. But eventually they ran out of boys, out of sons, and all they had left was a daughter called Anne. And if you think that she is the product of probably 120 years of about £100 million a year coming in, she is probably one of the richest beings ever to have walked this planet. She makes Elon Musk look like a pauper. And she marries a man who is maybe not that rich, though his family do own the whole of the north. He is incredibly important, he's incredibly powerful. His name is Richard Neville. He's the hero, anti-hero of a play by Shakespeare, but he is best known as the Kingmaker. To tell you his story, we're going to move round behind the back of the courtyard gift shop, and I'll tell you part 3 of my tale. Please follow me. We're now looking at the 1400s, and it's a time that we refer to as the War of the Roses. In fact, at that time it was known as the War of the Cousins. The Roses is something that Shakespeare came up with in his play Henry VI. It's a very, very good idea to have the Lancastrians come on from this side and take a red rose, the Yorkists come on from this side and take a white rose. Visually, you know which side is which side on stage. In fact, the banners of that era, one is a full moon, one is a full sun. Very similar, something that will come into play later on in my story. Basically, in brief, on the throne is Henry VI. He's a Lancastrian, and he is very, very strange. He's very weak, he's dominated by his wife, but worst of all for everyone, he falls into coma or catatonic states for long periods of time. For example, when he's presented with his firstborn son, he gasps and doesn't speak or move for 6 months. This is worrying. Over here, you've got the Earl of March. Edward, he's a Yorkist. He wants to be king. He thinks he'd make a better king than Henry. Let's face it, a shoebox would make a better king than Henry right now. And his best friend just happened to be Richard Neville, Earl of Warwick. And he says to Richard, if you can get rid of Henry and put me on the throne as the Yorkist Edward IV, I will give you everything you want. We will rule England together, me in name, you in all but name. Richard is a familial friend, says fine. I'm more than happy to do that. So a battle takes place in 1455 at St Albans, and it is a Yorkist victory. Bye-bye Henry, hello Edward, now Edward IV, Yorkist King of England. But the trouble is, it was a decisive-ish battle, decisive-ish victory. People are happy-ish, things are not set in stone. And there's a little uprising here and a little uprising there. So Earl of Warwick reckons what we need now is a really decisive battle. Let's get this sorted once and for all. So another battle takes place in 1461 at Towton. To this day, the Battle of Towton is regarded as the bloodiest battle ever to take place on English soil. You've got to remember, in those days, battles were awfully civilised. You sort of met at 10 o'clock, fought, had lunch, fought, home for Love Island, done, dealt with, over. Very nice. In the course of just 10 hours, not including horses, camp followers and general riffraff, 28,000 soldiers lost their lives. That's more than 46 men a minute, or more than 1% of the entire population, male or female, of this country at that time in one day. Because it was so cold, they were mainly using war hammers, which are basically hammers. They were hammering each other to death. The pile of bodies apparently makes our mound look like a pimple, and they continued to fight. The rivers ran red with blood, I'm not at all surprised. Foul, disgusting, revolting. But for Earl of Warwick and Edward IV, absolutely brilliant, exactly what you want. Henry, you are now gone, 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 gone. Edward is now King of England, unquestionably. So our Earl of Warwick thinks what we need now is I need to get my king a French bride. If we can create an entente cordiale between two nations who have never liked each other, I, behind the throne, won't only be King of England, I'll be King of the universe. I will be the Kingmaker. So off our Earl trots to France. and is this close to signing a contract deal between the King of France's sister and Edward when news arrives that Edward has got married behind his friend's back. Not good. And his choice of bride is surprising. She's called Elizabeth Woodville, and he worships her. It's totally a love match. She's older than Edward. She's a widow. She's got 2 children. She is a Lancastrian, so she's actually in theory the enemy. But worst of all for Richard, she has 12 brothers and sisters. They are now wielding the power, the influence. They are getting everything that Richard had been promised, the land, the title, everything. And clearly he is not happy. The thing is that Edward loves her. What Elizabeth wants, Elizabeth gets. Dare I say it, she was a medieval Meghan Markle. Too soon? I never know. Hey-ho. So understandably, our Earl is not happy about this. He comes back from France, angry and embarrassed, and decides to do something very strange. He's going to kidnap the King of England, and he does so, and imprisons him in this tower, Caesar's Tower, for about 3 days, and then another tower further up north. The thing is, however much you hate your king, you cannot kidnap them. Edward is released and flees to France, and our Earl now changes sides and becomes Lancastrian. Actually, I think Henry VI would have been a better king. Why on earth did I ever make Edward king? I like Henry. And in order to make sure that he does it like he did last time, another titan will be required. I am the Kingmaker, and he firmly believes it. So another battle takes place in 1471, and this is the Battle of Barnet, which he's getting ready for in our Kingmaker, and when it's not Halloween, you must come and have a look at that exhibition, it's brilliant. The Battle of Barnet. If it wasn't the fact that a lot of people died, it's actually quite a funny story. They meet on Palm Sunday, it was incredibly foggy. You literally apparently could not see a hand in front of your face. Remember those banners? Full moon, full sun. The Yorkist army is over there, the Lancastrian army is over here, led by Earl of Warwick. And he does something tactically brilliant. He divides his army in 2 and sends them in a pincer to get the Yorkist army and commence the battle. So separate, divide, they gallop through, they find, and the battle begins. Bows, arrows, warhammers, screamings, javelins, spears, death, destruction, blood. And about 3.5 hours into the battle, the fog rises, and they discover the Yorkist army went home before breakfast. For the last 3.5 hours, this side of the Lancastrian army have been fighting this side of the Lancastrian army, brother against brother. They're not very happy. Richard and Edo are standing there going, oh my God. They accuse him of being a traitor. He's not. He has just made the biggest boo-boo of his life. They're so angry that no matter how much he says, I didn't do it deliberately, they don't believe him. And they say, you must be taken to London and held prisoner, but because you are an Earl of Warwick, we will treat you with dignity and respect. So they take him to London, they do hold him prisoner. Unfortunately, they translate dignity and respect as stabbing him 61 times in the left eye, mutilating his body, and throwing him to the steps of St. Paul's Cathedral. But as my alma mater would say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. He also has no sons, but he has 2 daughters, one of whom is also called Anne. And she is married to the Duke of Gloucester, who very soon will become Richard III, King of England. And that is when Warwick Castle becomes a royal residence, into royal ownership. Richard and Anne have plans for an incredible building programme. Though within a year, Anne is dead, possibly murdered, and they only build the Bear and Clarence Towers, 2 truncated little jobbies over there, hardly worth looking at. And of course, 2 years into his reign, Richard III himself is killed. The last reigning monarch ever to be killed in battle, the only monarch ever to be buried underneath the supermarket car park. 2 very important claims to fame. With him gone, the Tudors take over, and they have no interest in Warwick Castle at all. They own it, but they don't want it. 2 reasons. One, it reminds them of the previous monarchy, and secondly, castles have had their day. Gunpowder, cannonballs, cannons, one kaboom, I mean, there is no point in having a miniature world to train knights, soldiers, no point any longer. And the castle falls into terrible, terrible dereliction at this stage. Henry VIII visits twice, so briefly you'd hardly know. Elizabeth does come, but by that point we actually have to build something for her to stay in. The castle is that ruinous. She's meant to stay here for 4 days, on her way up to Kenilworth to see her friend, Robert Dudley, the already married Earl of Leicester. But on the second night, a firework display in her honour goes awry, and a firework called a dragon sets fire to half the town of Warwick. She leaves the following morning before breakfast, leaving £20 for restoration, never to return. The castle then passes into the ownership of James VI of Scotland or James I of England, and he really doesn't know what to do. He's unpopular because he's not Elizabeth I, he's unpopular because his mother was a Catholic, and he has very little money. And he's being plagued with letters from the townfolk of Warwick. What are you doing with our castle? Get rid of it or restore it. But it's now a den of thieves. It's dangerous. We hate it. Do something. And he can't afford to do either. Luckily, a man called Sir Fulk Greville, who'd been very, very high up in the court of Elizabeth, thinks he has a tenuous familial link to the Beauchamp family. He goes to the king and says, can I have Warwick Castle? And the king goes, yes, please, with my blessing, take it. Sir Fulk Greville moves in 1604 and spends about £8 million restoring the castle, creating the staterooms inside. He doesn't become our next first Earl. That title is given to some of his descendants, and that unfortunately is when the rot sets in. I'm going to move us just over to where the doors are to tell you the very final, tragic end of my story. Please follow me. Yes, you are an avid historian, or you live in Warwick. It's highly unlikely you'll ever have heard of the Greville family. They were not great politicians, not great explorers. They were no viceroys of India or Ireland. They weren't writers or painters, or all they did was live life to the full and spend inordinate amounts of money having a tremendously good time. 1604, Sir Fulk Greville moves in, spends £8 million of today's money creating the building, the house as it looks today. Within about 150 years, Golden George, the second Earl, had got the family £13 million into debt. Because of him, we become one of the first houses ever to be open to the public. 800 years of keeping everyone out, and now we're begging for that shilling just to keep going. George's nickname was Golden George because he had a tendency to cover things in gold leaf and spend money. His rule of thumb was if it doesn't move, gild it. He is spending money hand over fist, and yet they keep on doing things to make life even more complicated financially for them. One thing they suddenly decide is the house is still too costly. We want something softer, more stately home. So they hire the most impressive, expensive landscape gardener of the age to come up with some suggestions. Lancelot Capability Brown. And he comes up with two. The first one, amazingly for them, they say, no, I'm sorry, that is too expensive. We can't afford to do that. I don't think they'd ever said that about anything. And that idea was to take 10 feet off the top of Guy's Tower and 10 feet off the top of Caesar's Tower. No, too expensive. We'll go for your cheap option. The cheap option was to raise this entire courtyard, where we're standing, everything within these walls, by 10 feet. We should actually be standing down there. That's why these windows don't work. We're 10 feet too high. That was the cheap option. Oh, we seem to be in the red. I know, let's get some peacocks and have a really big party. If we spend enough money, hopefully we'll get back into the black. That is how insane they are. Things could have been all right when the fifth Earl married the beautiful Daisy Maynard, who became the 5th Countess. Not only is she ravishingly beautiful, her family owned Essex, so she was stonkingly rich. But her spending habits are even more insane than her family's are. She introduces electricity, hugely expensive. She's a 4-day powder ball for 400 guests. The food and drink bill alone for that is more than my parents spent on their first house. She has a long affair with the Prince of Wales, dated Edward VII, who actually only dumped her when he met Alice Keppel, whose great-granddaughter, of course, is now our Queen Consort. Apples, trees, not falling far, who knows, whatever. For example of her total extravagance, one Christmas she actually bought her children a baby elephant as a stocking filler. Most bizarrely though, according to the archives, from a daughter of travelling elephant salesman. So what's your dad do for a living? He sells elephants. I don't know. Anyway, the money is pouring out. Things are getting seriously bad. So bad, in fact, her grandson decides the only option is to go to America, go to Hollywood and become a movie star. And he gets a contract to appear in a film called Dawn Patrol. He has the swash, he has the buckle, he has the moustache. What he lacks is any acting ability whatsoever. It is truly ghastly. Comes back with less money than went out, but he now knows royalty, Hollywood royalty. Marlene Dietrich, Errol Flynn, David Niven, Grace Kelly, they've all spent long and expensive, yet again, weekend parties at this house. The only thing is, don't ever envy them, because after dinner he would take them up to the rooftop projection room and make them watch his film. I have seen a few clips of it on YouTube, and I know it's a horrible expression. I would rather eat my weight in moths than go through that experience again. It is truly agonising. The money is getting seriously bad. Family that once owned The View are now down to 70 acres. They're selling artwork off left hand over fist. What you see inside is a third of the original collection, and they're selling in a very odd way. In the late 50s and early 60s, if you wanted to come to the house and see something you like, I'd have sold it to you. Literally, I like that painting, yes, that'll be 200 quid, thank you, bye-bye. The government don't like this. They don't like it in particular because apparently some of this art was actually, if you can imagine, going abroad, and that to the government was not acceptable. Things are getting so bad that by the 70s, Sir Fulk Greville himself returns in ghost form and starts knocking randomly against walls. Something that is clearly a wine cellar becomes a dungeon. Something that was once a toilet becomes an oubliette where prisoners were thrown to their doom to die in anguish and agony. It brings the punters in for a bit, but not for long enough. People are saying it's lovely. Why is the library floor on the ceiling? We like it better that way. In fact, it's so bad that in the 70s, he hadn't even got the title of 8th Earl. He's still Lord Brooke at that point. He hasn't even inherited. He was seen by somebody who still works here, wandering around this huge, at that point, fairly dilapidated castle, wearing a headlight torch eating cold baked beans. No money for the gas, no money for the electricity, and yet you own Warwick Castle. It meant that in 1978 he had absolutely no choice but through a friend to sell to Man Who Swords, the Waxwork Museum. They bought the house, contents, the land, the potential, and the debt for £1.5 million. We do have a 9th Earl, as I said earlier. He's a self-made multi-millionaire. We've offered him everything from discount tickets to I came to Warwick Castle and got pooed on fridge magnet. Nothing will get him through the doors. Not long after, I think possibly having the last person to be born here, the thought of saying I want to go to my bedroom to discover the HR office is just too much. Not long after Manitou Swords bought the castle, Merlin Entertainment bought Manitou Swords, and it's Merlin Entertainment who look after this beautiful house now. But as long as people like you will come and pay your entry fee, and listen to people like me rabbiting on, we shall meet again in 1,000 years, when this tour will take exactly 60 minutes. If you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, have a lovely afternoon. Thank you for your company. Don't miss the bird show at 3 o'clock. If you want to do that, that's through the furthest arch over there. Carry on down to your left.
That was amazing. So we learned a lot about the history of Warwick Castle. So now I'm going to take a bit of a break, and then it's time to go to the dungeon. Let's go. Oh, but after the dungeon, like my dungeon is at 4:30, we'll find out about the result of that missing head thing. I'm going to keep quiet about that though. I know some kid won, so let her get the prize. Well done, girl. All right, see you later. Yeah, so I'm sitting in the undercroft and I'm going to be having my massive cappuccino. Look at that. It's a massive one. Time to enjoy. Okay, so last thing I'm going to be doing now is the castle dungeon. Let's check it out and see if there are any differences from the nighttime event. After, hopefully I'll have time to see the result of the missing head situation, and then I'm off home. So let's do the dungeon. So I've just completed the daytime version of the dungeon, and comparing the two, they are pretty much almost exactly the same. However, this time during the torturer scene, I answered a question. I did a sound effect, which got things moving. And near the end, I got picked on for the execution, and they were gonna chop my head off with an axe. But I asked her, is it okay if I axe you a question? Meaning that she actually missed and just chopped my ear off. So that was quite lucky. But the main difference that I have noticed is that the nighttime one that I did, the witch did not appear. But this time, in the daytime version, the witch did appear. So the daytime one did have the edge in this occasion. So that was great. Loved them both. They were really good. And it was different actors, but there was like one guy who does the torture who seemed really intimidating, really great. And the judge was amazing as well. So that's all done, nearly finished, but it's almost 4:30 and I want to see the result of the headless treasure hunt. So let's see what's going to happen with that.
Did you manage to find my lord's head? Oh, there seems to be a lot of people that think they have. So, there's somebody who came up to me earlier, Isaac. And you said to me, you know where my lord's head was. It was in a box, was it? Ah, so you followed all of the clues, did you? Did you all follow the clues? Yes. So after I sent you to the witches, where did they send you next? Where? Oh, to the mound, did they? And at the base of the mound, there was another clue, wasn't there? And where did it send you after that? Yes? To Guy Tower. So if you can't see my lord's head from the top of the mound, then maybe you'd be able to see it from the top of Guy's Tower. Very clever. Very clever indeed. And did anybody see my lord's head from the top of Guy's Tower? No. Oh dear.
But there was another clue.
There was another clue, was there? Where did Guy's Tower clue send you? To the Falconers area, of course. If you can't see it from the top of the tower, then maybe the birds will be able to see it for you. And there, where did the bird send you after that? Yes? Shout it out nice and loud. To the Peacock Garden where the box was. Now, did you find the box? Yes. And what did it say inside the box? A message. And what did the message say? Then it said to come back here to the stage, did it? What else did it say? The fox took the head. And the fox would return it here at 4:30. Has anybody seen that fox? You have seen the fox. And where is the fox now? He's where? Where? Who's got my Lord's head then? Has anybody got my Lord's head? He's where? Where? Oh, my Lord's head. Thank you so much. No, give it here quickly. We've been searching for this all day. Thank you very much. My Lord has his head! Oh, isn't he handsome? His beautiful blonde hair, his little beard and his slightly crooked nose. No, forget about the blood. That's not very nice, is it? My Lord! Your head, my Lord. Please go and give my Lord his head. Right then, boys and girls, since it was the wicked witches of Warwick that took my Lord's head off, we need some very nice witches of Warwick, or wizards, to be able to cast a magic spell to make my Lord's head stick back on. Do we have any witches or wizards here? Yes? Put your hand up if you're a witch or a wizard. Oh, now I think you over here. You look very magical, don't you? Can you give me a spell? Go on, shout a spell out really loud. Abracadabra. And that will make my Lord's head stick back on his shoulders. You think so? Well, I think it's worth a try then, isn't it? Right then, this, my Lord, is just going to be a practice round. Calm down, calm down. Right, boys and girls, let's try this all together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Abracadabra! Well, boys and girls, it's not going to work if you're that quiet, is it? You need to be really, really loud. Right. Are you ready, my Lord? 3, 2, 1. I don't think it worked. Oh, no worries. Maybe it's the evil witches. Maybe they're the only ones that can stick my Lord's head back to his shoulders. Until then, does anybody have any ideas how we can reattach it? Yes. Hocus pocus? Oh, maybe that's another magic spell, though. Should we try one more? Should we try one more magic spell, lords and ladies? Okay, then, my Lord, we're going to try one more magic spell. He thinks it'll work. It is hocus pocus. All together on 3, 2, 1! Oh dear! Don't drop it on the floor, my Lord! Oh, I'm afraid the magic isn't working. Instead of the magic, does anybody know of a temporary fix? Yes, how do you think we can put my Lord's head back on his shoulders? Your magic ring, and no more magic. I don't think it will work. I think only the wicked witches will stick it back on. Yes, what do you think, Isaac? We could use a stick for now. Use a stick for now? I don't think we can do that. Has anybody else got another idea? Yes? Super glue! Super glue's a good idea, isn't it, my lord? Any other ideas? Yes? Stitch it! Stitch it back together. Do you have a needle and thread? No. But your mum does. Does she have one at the moment? Where is mom? Over there, do you have a needle and thread, mom? On you? Who carries a needle and thread around to them? What do you do for a job? You're a witch! Ah, what about you? Have you got another suggestion? Oh, that's another magic spell, isn't it? I don't think we can do any more magic today. One last one. Staple gun and sellotape. That's not a bad idea, is it? And what do you think? I think you have the most sensible idea so far. I think now me and my lord, we have to go back to those wicked witches this evening and ask them very kindly to stitch your head back on. Aren't we, my lord? Yes. But for now, I want to thank you all for helping us find our lord's head. Give yourself a round of applause. So it is goodbye for now, but have a scary Halloween and a safe journey home. Good night.
Well, there you go. He was decapitated and he likes his coffee decaffeinated. It's time to go. And that's it. We have done a night and a day of attractions at Warwick Castle. We've seen all the night events, we've seen all the day events, and we've explored everything. We've even managed to find the missing head of the Headless Man. I hope you've enjoyed that episode. Tune in tomorrow when I am going to be going and doing lots of different attractions along the Thames. So until then, goodbye.